Another camp position battle video. And we're talking running backs. And it's also Friday. We're also about a month away from training camp. We're getting there. Slow and steady. We're getting there. What is up, Finn fans? Talking running backs. I'm going to address the running backs we have on this team. Going to address the battle that is actually in the running back room. Who's competing for what, doing what, all that stuff. But I got a little things I want to talk about, just a little bit of things. So again, if you're like, oh God, you can just go down here, right? Come right over here, and you can just grab it, and you can just fast forward if you don't want to hear me talk. First thing, shout out today's sponsor, great friend of mine, love him to bits, Sean Seipler and Clean the World. Do fantastic things for people of need. He is a fantastic human being that put people before himself, working 16 years he's been doing this, helping millions of people, helping hundreds of countries, helping all of the different people, third world countries, natural disasters, the homeless. He gets them soap. He gets them hygiene kits, which is right here. Always have one handy with socks, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, all that good stuff. He gets some clean drinking water with the Wash Foundation. He even gets backpacks for kids. Go check him out, cleantheworld.org, and also check out the Wash Foundation. Fantastic things. That's number one. Number two, very on Twitter. If you haven't been on Twitter, I will never call it X, it's a stupid name. If you've been on Twitter, the whole comparing Tua to Drew Brees is now blown up, and it's blown up a little bit in my face, even though I'm only reacting to what Riddick and Teron Armstead are saying. But it's a thing, and we're going to talk about it Tuesday on the Dolphin Collective. So I'm going to have all the stats to back me up and talk about it and talk about why I said what I said and all this stuff. And we'll see if Tua and Allen see what I'm saying, or they're just going to keep yelling at me. It'll be fun. The other thing, we're going to get a trivia. And I don't know if you guys sent me anything, but I will check the P.O. Box soon. If you want to send something to me via P.O. Box, it is linked in the description. It literally says P.O. Box. I think it's like you scroll down just a scratch and there's your P.O. Box. If you want to send me anything, don't feel like you need to. It could be a letter, it could be whatever. I'm going to be checking the P.O. Box soon, and maybe I'll do a mail opening video. But here's your trivia for today. What player returned a blocked punt 25 yards for a touchdown in the second quarter of the Dolphins' 35-32 win at the Bears in Week 9 of 2022? This one's gonna break your heart. So let's jump into this and let's talk about who is on the running backs, because we don't have as many as I thought we would, if I'm being honest with you. I thought we'd have more running backs on this team, and we don't. So I'm gonna pop them up here because it's not as many as I thought. You got 5. Normally going into the season, not the season, but into training camp. So they might add more. You get a good bunch of running backs, right? We got 5. I don't remember how much they had last year. Devon Achane, Ali Gordon, Alexander Madison, Nate Null, who's the undrafted rookie, and Jaylen Wright. Those are your running backs on this team. So I'm going to break it down. Now, obviously, Devon Achane is in no camp battle, right? This past year had a fantastic year, if you ask me. Rushing wise, not too great. You know, he was 20th ranked, 907 rushing yards. He was only 93 yards away from breaking 1,000 yards for the first time in his NFL career. He is tied for, I think, 9th. I didn't write the number down because I'm a big dumb. For yards per attempt with 4.5. He only has 1 rushing touchdown. His zone run is 120 snaps, and his gap run is 69 snaps. So obviously last year the Dolphins ran a lot of zone. Now, his receiving, on the other hand, and we might see more of that, he was number one among running backs with receptions of 78. He was number one among running backs for reception yards of 592. He was number one among reception touchdowns among running backs with 6. So overall, his total yardage from scrimmage was 1,499. And he was in the slot, second most among running backs. His slot percentage, 26.3. So he was a very versatile, very used running back in this offense, and I could see that more going forward. There is no camp battle with Devon Achane. He is your guy. Now, here's where we start to get into the camp battle, because you have Jaylen Wright, right? Jaylen Wright, right? Love Jaylen Wright. I liked when we drafted him. We ended up trading up to get him. Really liked the move. I really liked the player. He put on weight, 6 pounds, and not 6 pounds of fat because he lost body fat, but 6 pounds of muscle. And during OTAs and minicamp this past couple months, he's talked about that he's learning the speed of the game. And again, last year was his rookie year. I gave him a little bit of slack. Also, he wasn't really used as much as he probably should have been. That's here nor there. But I'm very interested to see what he can do in his second year in this offense. And now that he is bulking up and kind of really trying to take on that different aspect of his run game, I'm very interested to see what he can do there. They added Alexander Madison, who, the name isn't going to pop out to you. You're not going to sit here and be like, oh my goodness, look at this guy. He's a fantastic running back that the Dolphins added. It wasn't anyone crazy, but his addition obviously talks about this shift in momentum or shift in scheme-esque when it comes to running the ball, because he has an 81% conversion rate on short yardage 3rd and 4s. So you're like looking at 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, or 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. 81%. Of 26 attempts, he converted 21 of them. That is a big thing that the Miami Dolphins need help with. Like Louis Riddick said, and again, we're going to talk about this with the guys, they forced Tua to throw a lot in these short yardage positions and short yardage downs because of the lack of offensive line blocking. So you think maybe they're adding Alexander to be that guy to come in and to really push. Now, here is where the camp battle comes in, and that is our sixth round pick, Ollie Gordon II. Ollie Gordon didn't have a great 2024 season. He had a DUI, but also, struggled behind a not great offensive line. The defense was focused more on stopping his runs, had a little bit of injuries. There's things here and there, but you look at his career in 2023, he was number one in NCAA with 1,580 rushing yards, number two with 20 touchdowns. He had a 6.4 yards per attempt. But here's the thing that I find interesting. And again, might be where there's a little bit of a shift in what the Dolphins are doing. He ran the zone scheme only 73 times, and he ran a gap scheme 166 times. Complete opposite of when you're looking at Devon Achane. So again, and if you watch the Dolphin Collective and you hear what Omar has to say, him and Alan, guys that are there at camp, I will be at camp this year, so hopefully I see you guys. He runs very upright, and that could hurt your longevity of a football career, because you're going to take a lot of bad hits. But he's fast and he's big. I think he said, I'm trying to remember who Omar said he reminded him of. Sean McCoy. I think that's what he said. I think that's the name. But he's impressed Omar. Will that continue when the pads come on and things start to get physical, especially in preseason? I'm so excited for preseason. A little tangent. I know preseason is nothing. And, to the people who don't do this for a living or not that into football, I'm a fan. I watch them during the regular season. But outside of that, I don't give two poops. Kind of like my dad. I love preseason. You get to see the guys that might not make the roster. And you get to see all these, oh, my God, I'm getting the jiggles and the biggles. Because I love football, and in the preseason, it's like, oh, it's going to be so good. Anyway, so Ollie Gordon is an interesting thing. And then you have Nate Null, which you might be like, who the crap is Nate Null? I got information. Nate Null. He was at Appalachian State. Jeez Louise. He was at Appalachian State from 2020 to 2023. In 2020, he rushed for 82 times for 510 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2021, breakout season, running for 1,126 yards, 4 touchdowns on 199 carries. Where his performance, he was named first team All Sun Belt. 2022, 604 yards, 6 touchdowns, 87 carries. And in 2023, he rushed for 834 yards, 5 touchdowns on 173 carries. And then he transferred to the Missouri Tigers in week 4 of 2024, and he only rushed for 199 yards, 24 carries, as he helped the Tigers win over Vanderbilt. Comadres? Just ignore me. His height, 5'7", weighs 194, ran a 4.52. Undrafted. So, will he make the roster? Probably not. We're going to probably run with Achane, Jaylen Wright, Alexander Madison, Ollie Gordon. Those are probably going to be your 4 running backs going into the season. Unless the Dolphins add somebody. Unless, let me see, best available running backs. If there's possibly a running back out there that piques their interest, then might want to bring them in. Hold on. It's showing me people who've signed. Anyway, you never know. There could be a guy out there. If you know anybody out there that you're like, hey, the Dolphins, like obviously we all wanted Chubb. He went to the Texans, but I would have loved to add him. I think he would have been a nice addition, but he didn't. He went somewhere else. So they're going to rock with 4. They probably really like their 4. As Omar and Alan have said, these guys, that is Mike McDaniel's bread and butter is running backs. Now, here is the battle. Here's where the video is titled. Who's the number 2 behind Devon Achane? Who is the thunder to Devon Achane's lightning? Who is the Butch Cassidy to Achane Sundance Kid? Yeah. To the OG Dolphin fans. I think I got that right. Is it Jaylen Wright? Now, I don't think it's Alexander Madison. I think he does make the team, but I think he's a situational guy. I think he's like a Jeff Wilson type guy. If you remember against the Dallas Cowboys in 2023, we kind of needed those first downs just to kill the clock after getting the initial first down to really put us into field goal range. And they just ran Jeff Wilson and eventually got the first down. That's where I see Alexander Madison being. But it's that number 2 spot. Is it Jaylen Wright? Or is it Ollie Gordon II? That is where the battle comes in, and that is where it gets interesting. Because if Jaylen Wright, if he did put on the muscle, which I'm not saying he didn't, but that 6 pound of muscle, and if the speed of the game slows down for him, he can be a very good, reliable back. And especially one with the size that he could possibly have, because I'm hearing from everyone that he got bigger, and it is something that you're noticing. You're like, that man got bigger. Or is the guy who had a prolific 2023 season, led the NCAA in so many different categories, is he going to show up and all of a sudden push for that number 2 spot? This is a situation where it's good to have this many options, and it's good to be like, we have 2 guys who have promises is promising and have a bright future. It just depends on what happens with them. And then Nate Null. Like, I'm not going to poop on Nate Null. Pause on that. That's also really gross. Maybe he shows up. Maybe he does something. Maybe we add him to the practice squad. I don't see why they wouldn't. But the real battle is between Jaylen Wright and Ollie Gordon II to see who's going to be that, again, thunder to the lightning. Who's going to be that, who's going to be that tag team partner with Devon Achane. Because this is Devon Achane's show, right? Kind of like it was Kenny and Drake's show. This is Devon Achane's show. They're going to use him. He's going to be a running back. He's going to be probably out there in the slot because, again, he was in the slot, second most among running backs with 26.3% of the time. This is his. It's now who's going to help him out when he needs a break, who's going to help the team out when we need, more of that power back situation at the end of the year. I want to know what you guys think. Who do you like between Jaylen Wright and Ollie Gordon? I'm kind of giving the nod to Jaylen Wright because he's been in the system for 2 years, and I like the idea of him bulking up a little bit, and I did like the way he played last year. But I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. What's your thoughts on the running back position? Do you think they'll add one because they're just rocking with 5 right now? What's your thoughts? Very interested to read what you guys have to say. Here's your answer to the trivia question of what player returned a blocked punt 25 yards for a touchdown in the second quarter of the Dolphins 35-32 win at the Bears in week 9 of 2022. It was, unfortunately, heartbreakingly, Andrew Van Ginkel. To this day, it's going to be one that should have never let him go. Should have never let him go. Enjoy your weekend. If news breaks, there is rumblings and rumors that Jalen Ramsey might be going to the Steelers. If news breaks, obviously you'll get a video. If not, I will see you Monday as we talk about wide receivers and our camp position battles. And then in between that, we got a lot of videos we're still going to do. Maybe we'll do Tuesday. We'll do the quarterback ranking videos. Maybe. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. FN's up.